All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Denzel Gore. I'll be doing my speech today on why should teachers get a higher salary. So, as kids growing up, we all were influenced or had dreams or aspirations, basically, on what we wanted to be when we grew up or became adults. We all had the famous saying, of course, I can't wait to become an adult, live on my own, and start my life, and so forth. But as we get older and older, most of us had the famous saying or the famous jobs like I want to be an astronaut, a doctor, a lawyer, or a police officer, and something in that manner. Then later in life, we really started to figure out stuff. Basically, we got more mature, and as school progresses, we knew what we wanted to become, or we had an idea, basically. So as life keep on going, we progressed more and more, and we get smarter in our decisions, and we knew what our weaknesses and strengths were. So when I arrived to my high school, my senior year in high school, we had several different classes and groups that helped us with different choices or cause decisions and so forth. And we also had classes that assist us in career choices. With these career choices, we had college prep, we had recommendation letters, and of course, the biggest thing, the career choice. So one day in one of my senior classes, one of my teachers was like, "Okay, let's us hear your decision so far, or where you want to be in the next couple of years." So all my classes went up, and they had great ideas. A lot of them wanted to be, athletic trainers. Some wanted to go to college for sports. Some wanted to become doctors, scientists, and a lot of great choices. And I was there sitting like, man, I really don't know what I want to be as of yet. I know I want to go to college. I know I want to have something focused in math, but I didn't know what exactly where I want to be. So I asked, I'll go last. I don't know yet. So I, sat in my bed all night thinking, and I finally knew what I wanted to say. So finally, my turn came up. And I always remember this day. My teacher's name was Miss Gibbs. And she came and said, "All right, Denzel, what's your career choice?" So I stood up in front of everybody. I was like, "All right, I finally know what I want to be. Thought long and hard about this. And I wanted to be an elementary or high school teacher focusing on math or computer science." My whole classroom was in shock, and everyone is with awkward silence. I don't know if I said something wrong. I don't know if everyone was just shocked because they didn't see me as a teacher. I didn't know. So everyone was just talking under their breath and wondering, like, why a teacher? Why does this want to be a teacher? And Ms. Gibbs had the same question. I told her, well, you're one of my biggest influences, and I want to follow your footsteps. You helped me through my high school days. A lot of teachers these days they push their students a lot to become what they want to be, and I want to do that with my students in the future also. She was like, okay, great. Well, I have an assignment for you for tonight. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. What's the assignment? And she said, I want you to just go home and just do a small assignment, just check out all the details on becoming a teacher. I said, all right, that's easy, cool. Went home, did all the research, saw the classes I had to take, maybe my master's, become a principal, and so forth. And also, I got to do an exit test and, which schools be the best to go teach at, private, public, whatnot, everything. So finally, I said, okay, well, maybe start looking for jobs and maybe where I want to live. Then I finally saw the salary for teachers. According to the National Education Association in 2016 to 17, the national average starting teacher salary was $38,617. This was a complete shock to me because I wasn't expecting this. I was baffled at the moment, and I didn't know what to think or how other teachers feel about this number. And this was something I felt very deeply about, and I just felt kind of way of why this number. And teachers of all levels are being unappreciated at this moment, and it's becoming a greater issue in education system today. Which with this issue, it could eventually lead all our teachers to seek employment somewhere else. So I went back to my teacher, and I expressed my feelings to her, and she was like, "Yes, this is the prime reason why I wanted you to go back." Because a lot of teachers these days, they don't do it for the money. They don't do it for the paycheck. They do it because of the students. And I want to make sure that you will do the same for your students, even though that's the starting salary. And I thought long and hard about it, and I still want to become a teacher. And I told her one day it's something I want to do. And then I did more research, and I just want to explain some of the things that our teachers do for us that we kind of don't appreciate. So today's modern teachers, they are faced with many obstacles than the typical average teacher or what we think teachers do. This role has changed drastically over the years, and I know a lot of us work the average 40 hours a week, maybe plus or minus a couple hours overtime. Teachers on average spend 50 hours a week doing instructional duties and so forth. Then they spend an additional 12 hours per week doing non-compensated activities for the students and the school. Some might say that's not too bad because we all had our rough weeks and 12 hours overtime isn't too bad. But let's think about it also. Teachers don't qualify for overtime pay. Most jobs that we have, we get maybe time and a half or double time for the overtime. These teachers don't get that pay. They're doing that just because of the students. So most of the time when they're at home or so forth, grading papers and so forth, they're not getting paid for that. So let's just list some of the things that we oversee what teachers do on a day-to-day basis. As I said, grading papers, bus duty, the club advising, test preparation, lesson planning, professional development, and also the biggest thing, communicating with the students and the parents. That's the biggest thing right there. So, and the list could go on forever. I also have some personal experiences where I had other teachers who does the same thing every day. For example, Miss Soam was one of my high school teachers and also my baseball coach. During my JV team season, we played twice a week and we practiced another additional 3 times a week. Miss Soam was the most dedicated coach I had. As soon as she was over her classes, she was going to the baseball field to help us practice. And that was an additional 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 to 5, maybe 5 hours a day just with baseball. And then we have to remember, teachers have their own life. She had to go home to her husband and kids and also take care of them. So during that day, she was basically doing 2 jobs for the pay of 1. Another issue that we're faced with, again, is I have another friend, and she came to Dallas one weekend, and she was like, can we go to the bookstore? I was like, no problem, great, let's go. I wanted to go too. And she was like, all right, well, I just want to go to pick up some supplies for my students. I was like, why? I thought the school like supplies are for you. No, she's like, well, sometimes I do, but I like a little bit more I have a lot of students. I was like, wow, okay, cool. So I was like, do they give like a stipend or some extra money on the side to help out with it? She was like, no, not really. She was using her own money to help students in their classrooms. Another study that what I saw was teachers on average spend $500 a year on school supplies for their classes. The president of the Teacher Salary Project said that 92% of teachers buy supplies for their students out of their own pockets are not reimbursed at the end of the year. Teachers are already faced with low salaries, and now they're being faced with insufficient supplies for the classrooms. So now they're using their own money out of their own salaries to help educate the future. And lastly, it's unfortunate news, but with the recent school shootings, President Trump and other schools are pushing to have 40% of their educators supply with guns. If teachers agree to this training, they could be welcome to a little bit of a bonus at the end of the year. Sadly, I do agree that we may need additional security in the schools, but it takes a school shooting to really see if our teachers need a bonus or a raise in their salary. I don't agree with that. I think we need to look more deeply at the situation and see what all our teachers do. Bonuses are nice, but I know all of us would rather an increase in salary than an increase or a bonus at the end of the year. In closing, all that is to say, we've encountered some great teachers in our lives. I know all of us have. We have been faced with tough ones, with tough ones that also push us in our work, and we also had great ones that we still have as friends today. I left the Virgin Islands in 2010, and I still have teachers up to this day communicate with me, ask my parents how I'm doing, and they still look out for me in any way they could. These teachers are basically my family now, and they're major parts of the community today. And also, in the future, students that come, they're in their lives every day. So for those 6.5 hours a day, teachers are basically like second parents to them. So one day, I just want all of us, when you're in class or in meetings, just think about this. Think about being faced with 15 to 20 students in high school just watching you, waiting for your lesson plan for the day. Out of these 15 to 20 students, you may be watching doctors, scientists, lawyers, or teachers of tomorrow. It's a job with a lot of pressure. We should respect their work just as much as we respect ours. They are basically molding the future for us, and we should consider raising the pay for their work, or at least look at something to show what we appreciate them want to do today. If we don't have teachers, we're basically going to lose our future and the other doctors, workers, and nurses of tomorrow. So consider that next time you go into a classroom or in meetings and so forth, because these teachers are doing great work today, but they're deeply, deeply unappreciated. And that was my speech. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone has any questions or concerns, please leave a comment. Thank you.